It is a beautiful day out at the creek today. A great day to test knives, to shoot air guns, or just have a little camp out. I hope you're all getting out in the outdoors and enjoying them to whatever extent that you can. And if you can't, well, you can always see a little bit of it in my videos. Hey, what is up, YouTube? We are out at the creek. I've got a new knife review for you. This is the Demko Armiger knife. All right, this is the clip point model. I've had this for a few weeks now, but this is the box that it came in. So the rubberized handle, yeah, it's actually very comfortable, gives a good grip. So I have a large size hand. Okay, so if you have extra large, you know, it might be slightly short for you, but still perfectly usable, I'd say. And that extended tang, you know, you can hammer with that. Whether, you know, hammering a skull or a tent stake, that could be useful. And the blade length on this is 4.2 inches. It is 80 CR V2. And this is also made in Taiwan. Okay, so 80 CR V2. What is up with that steel? That steel is a very tough tool steel. It is a spring steel, and it is a high carbon steel. It is manufactured in Germany by Krupp. Right, so the takeaway is that that steel is basically, you can think of it as 1080 steel, but upgraded, right? An upgraded 1080 high carbon steel. Okay, that all sounds very good to me, right? An upgraded 1080, it sounds like it's approaching like 1095, which is a steel used by Tops and K-Bar, right? So I'm cool with that steel, right? A high carbon steel. The only thing you do have to remember is that the corrosion resistance is not so good. So if this does get wet, do not put it away wet. You have to dry this off. But of course, that's true of any high carbon steel knife. But yeah, they're saying it's a very tough high carbon tool steel and spring steel. I feel like this would make an excellent defensive knife if you want to go with a mid-sized fixed blade. Right? And if double edges are illegal where you live, this clip point would be perfect because, you know, it's going to do the job just as well. This will pierce if you have the proper aggression behind your techniques. If you are in the military but you don't want to carry a full-size combat knife, right, like a K-bar, you might want this because it's easier to carry. And if you're getting in and out of vehicles, in and out of armored vehicles, or perhaps helicopters, this might be easier to carry, right? So if you're in the military and you want a mid-sized fixed blade, yeah, I think this would be very useful for a variety of applications. Okay, the tip of this knife. Now this is a very pointed knife. If for some godforsaken reason you need this knife to go stabby, it can do so. You know what I'm saying? A hand-to-hand combat or self-defense type of application. I had a friend who was in the Marines who had to actually get into hand-to-hand combat with a knife. It's rare, but it can certainly happen, and it can happen in the civilian world too, right? So if you need that self-defense application, this knife can go stabby. There's certainly a chance that you might use this as a general purpose outdoor knife, as a camp knife. So I am going to cut a few things with this for you. More outdoor type of function, drawing it down a piece of wood. Does pretty well. I hope you're all doing well these days. I like getting out here and testing blades. Oh, sorry for any background noise. I don't know if you can hear that truck. But I tested 3 different blades out here today. Got this one, a cold steel, and a Victorinox. It's doing okay at this, especially considering that this is, it's kind of thick for this purpose. But I mean, I like that it's got strong construction. You know what I'm saying? A little finer work. But yeah, I try to keep busy in these troubled times of unprecedented change. I will continue to do my job on here to try to inform and entertain you about blades as well as multi-tools, flashlights, air guns. Alright, so this is doing okay at the whittling. There you go. So you want to do a little woodwork. You want to use this as a camp knife. You could do so. Yeah, I've been, like I said, I've been testing other knives here as well. So I already put a bunch of notches in this stick. Let's try it with this knife. You know. Now that partial flat grind, you know, it's more like a military knife, right? As opposed to, let's say, a kitchen knife or a bushcraft knife necessarily. Alright, so we're making a very shallow notch with this. Alright, there you go. Made a little notch. The spine of this knife can be used to strike a fire steel. We're going to fire up the Hobo Stove. I use the hotspot method. Oh yeah, it's already started. There we go. Alright, so we're going to fire up this Hobo Stove. Gotta catch a flame. There we go. I am very glad that they made the spine of this knife able to be used as a scraper or a striker on the fire steel, and as you can see, once the Hobo Stove gets going, it works really well. Alright, it's got it basically has a feed chute, and it has holes in it for air circulation, right? And you put your cup on top of it. Those shavings will burn quickly, but I have other more little solid chunks of wood that I can feed in the feed chute if I need to cook for a longer period of time. Here is the sheath on the belt. Let's just pretend that I'm right-handed. So there it is. Now this sheath is also MOLLE compatible, right? Oh, we got the wind is kicking up. But yeah, that's the sheath on the belt. So you see it has slots there. It's got a retaining strap there with a button closure. Right on here it has a loop, and it has Velcro and a button on that loop. It's just a good solid mid-sized clip point. The weight was listed as 4.3 ounces. Right, there's like people carrying folders that are heavier than this, right? But yet this gives you 4.2 inches of blade length. That is substantial. A little bit larger, a little bit longer, I should say, than many boot knives, right? But yeah, so some extra reach, just more edge length. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I picked this up. I think this is a winning design, and I think Andrew Demko is smart.